We have more tonight of my exclusive interview with a juror in last week's Michael Haim murder trial. We introduced you to Cindy Leatherbarrow last night on the 10 o'clock news. She says she wanted to share how the jury came to their conclusion in the cold case, finding Haim guilty of second-degree murder in the killing of his wife 26 years ago. Here's more of this juror's perspective.
Cindy Leatherbarrow says she never even heard of Michael Haim before she was called to sit on the jury in his trial. She never expected to be deciding the fate of this man accused of killing his young wife. Bonnie Haim was just 23 when she was reported missing in January of 1993. I was a night beat reporter for Channel 4 then and interviewed Michael Haim when he told me he didn't know what happened to her, that Bonnie just left. Years later, her own grown son found his mother's remains in their backyard.
Number one was finding the skeleton on the very property that was Michael Haim's home.
Cindy Leatherbarrow told me the forensic pathologist's testimony was key to her. 80% of the skeleton was found under an outdoor shower by the pool. The remains so intact they could not have been moved from another location, disproving the defense's argument that it was a secondary grave.
She testified how impossible it would be for the bones to be moved, that they would just disintegrate, that they, so I knew at that point that it wouldn't be possible. That was their main defense.
The second key element for this juror, Bonnie Haim's son, Aaron Frazier, who told a child psychologist at the age of 3.5, Daddy hurt Mommy.
That was the other piece of evidence that was so strong in my mind when I was making the decision.
As a grandmother herself of a 3-year-old, that hit home.
My 3-year-old is so smart. He knows exactly what's going on, and he would know. If he would be in that house, he would know if something happened and he would be able to verbalize it. So I had no doubt that his testimony was valid. I knew that, I don't know if he saw it, but I know that he knew it. I know that he knew something happened, he either heard her scream, or I pray that he didn't actually see it.
Michael Haim's testimony on the stand was the third point that proved to her he did it.
He seemed like he, we just had a discussion and then she left. Those were his words, like, well, who would ever leave after just having a discussion? And the way that he talked about and went through that night, it just seemed impossible to put your son in bed, to have plans for a baby shower the next day. It didn't make any sense to me. That I've been married for 39 years, and if my husband, even in the beginning years, were to get in the car, I would be calling everyone, I think he's really upset. I would be so much more concerned than he seemed. And so that testimony, I don't feel like helped him at all.
Aaron Frazier's testimony about what the death did to his life, did that impact you?
It broke my heart, absolutely. I just felt so sad for him, for his sister, for all their family. For both sides of the family, actually. To have a son that committed this murder, I felt so sad for his mom, and dad. There was nothing happy about it, other than justice being served to Aaron. And I was so thankful for that.
Cindy Leatherbarrow told me her experience as a juror was life-changing. She's hoping Michael Haim will get life in prison when he's sentenced May 17th.